Vera from Brazil is lead leg for the Brazilians. Their key man is Enrique, who was 8th in the final. He goes 3rd. Outside the Brazilians, Trinidad and Tobago, bronze medalists in the Olympics last year. They've got Jehu Gordon, the 400-metre hurdle gold medalist, on leg 3, and Jarin Solomon, 4th in the semi-final. He anchors them. Jamaica, 6 bronze medals and 2 silvers. Yes, we can see you. Rasheen McDonald on first leg for them. Javon Francis goes last. He ran a relay split of 44.8 when he was just 18 years of age. The United States of America, David Verburg looks pretty relaxed. 10 golds they've had in this competition. LaShawn Merritt goes anchor leg. Will it be double gold for the individual champion? Russia, surprisingly, only 1 medal. That was back when the days of the USSR in 1983. Dildin, Krasnov will have to go fast for them on the last leg. Good quartet from Great Britain. Conrad Williams on lead leg, Martin Rooney going 2nd, Nigel Levine coming in on the anchor leg, the European under-23 gold medalist a couple of seasons ago. And on the outside, the Australians, bronze medalists in 2009, Solomon, Beck, Burns and Thomas. So, the Americans start in lane 5. Can the Jamaicans, can the Britons, the Russians, or the Trinidadians get in the mix? The crowd have stayed for this. They're in the mood after the antics of Menkov and Lysenko in the field events. They will be roaring the Russian quartet on their way in lane 6.
Look for Belgium early on. They've got their 2 best ballets to start.
Final of the men's 4x400 metre relay. Belgium, Brazil, Trinidad, Jamaica, United States, Russia, Britain, Australia. So what kind of start will the Americans make? David Verburg looked pretty relaxed before they started. Jonathan Borlase running well on the inside. So we've got Verburg trying to close down on Dildin outside him, the Russian, and he's doing so at the moment. Good running by Jonathan Borlase on the inside, already coming up and going past De Oliveira, the Brazilian. Conrad Williams going well on the outside. He's having a battle with Stephen Solomon, the Australian, who's now starting to respond. And Dildin's coming back on Verburg. That's why the crowd are getting excited. The Americans hand over in first just. Martin Rooney goes for Great Britain on the 2nd leg. Mosin of Russia into 3rd, and Beck of Australia on the outside. The 2nd of the Borlase brothers coming through on the inside, Kevin. But it's Tony McQuay leading at the moment. The individual silver medalist, Martin Rooney, with that huge loping stride, is coming up onto the shoulder of the Russian Mosin into 2nd place. And Kevin Borlase having a good leg. So too Edino Steele of Jamaica. Those 4 in a line. But it's McQuay at the moment. He'll hand over to Arman Hall, who was 5th in his semi-final. So it's United States leading. It's the 3rd of the Borlase brothers. It's Dylan coming into 2nd place. But remember, the 2 fastest Belgians have already run. We've got Michael Bingham of Great Britain hanging on to 3rd place at the moment. And the Jamaicans and the Russians are trying to get in the mix. It's Omar Johnson trying to come up on the shoulder of Petukov, the Russian. Still Arman Hall for America leading. It's a brilliant performance so far from the Belgians, but can they hang on for a medal come the last leg? Now Arman Hall responding. The Americans are on to the last leg with LaShawn Merritt leading. Belgium in 2nd, Great Britain 4th, but the crowd are absolutely wild with excitement because Vladimir Krasnov has been given the baton in 2nd place for the Russians. The Americans are away and clear and out of shot. And what a run by Javon Francis of Jamaica. He's gone storming into second place. Vladimir Krasnov will try and respond. On paper, he's really got something in the closing stages, but he's in a battle for bronze at the moment. It's all about the gold here, and it's all about the United States. LaShawn Merritt is cruising to gold. A huge battle for America take it, Jamaica second, and it's a bronze for Russia. They've come through in fine style for their first medal as Russia in this 4x4 relay. A brilliant finish from Krasnov. The Americans were away and clear, but the Russian quartet have ensured it's the loudest finish we've had to an evening here. The Russians were not to be denied a medal, but the Americans reigned supreme.
Well, great run from all those relay boys down there. The crowd really enjoyed it. The Jamaicans are in trouble, but the Americans really dominated the race, didn't they? There's no question about that. And on that one performance, that one gold medal, they go back onto the top of the medal tally after Russia's brief appearance there for a while with those 2 gold medals in the field events. Well, a great run from them to get that bronze medal. It was almost a silver, wasn't it? They're having to pick the man up from the track there because he dug in all the way to the line, Francis.
Well, he's only 19 years of age, and it's quite a World Championships debut for the young man.
Great run from him. He didn't give in. He kept going and he kept going and got the silver medal.
Krasnov really did the job there for the Russians in terms of getting them on the podium. LaShawn Merritt did look as though he was tiring or hitting cruise control there. His stride length was shortening, but they were away and clear, and with the individual champion and silver medalist, the goal was already decided. But what a lunge for the line from Javon Francis, just denying the Russians. Merritt was cool for the gold, but the drama was about silver and bronze. Amazing to think the Russians had never won a medal in this event before now.
Well, you're commenting on LaShawn Merritt. I think that was just a little stroll in the park for him on the last leg, quite honestly.
Very easy for the Americans, wasn't it, in the end? But what a great race behind.
11 golds now. They've only been off the podium twice.
Well, the Americans really led right from the start. They got the baton through first time there. The Borlée brothers, of course, made sure that Belgium were in the mix, but we always knew that the last 2 were a lot slower than the first 2. But there's the USA. There you see the second Borlée taken over. Britain going well at that stage, but didn't quite have the strength of previous years, with slightly disappointing run by Levine on the last leg. But the Americans flying well clear. Lovely battle there, and Russia really did well at that changeover, didn't they? To gain a few precious meters, which proved invaluable in the end.
But you saw how far Francis was behind there, Peter. He was a long way back from the rest of the field, almost 15 or so meters back in about 5th place.
What a lunge for the line. The noise was absolutely deafening. The crowd were absorbed by every stride of that 4x4. That was a training jog in the end for LaShawn Merritt. Not interested in chasing the times. Double gold for the American. But what a silver and bronze for Jamaica and Russia.
Yes, and both those teams breaking 3 minutes, and that's the hallmark of 4x4 class, has been for some years now. Not the most talented US squad, but enormous strength in depth.
Boy.